This is the brief homily for the 25th of July. Please read the readings before listening to the homily. It's about 850 years before the birth of Jesus, the events of that first reading. The town that the messenger comes from with that bread and grain, there's a rabbinic tradition that that's the first town every year to have the grain harvest. So this is the first harvested grain, the first baked bread from the new harvest anywhere in the country. It's an obedience to the covenant to present the first fruits to God, and they do that by bringing it to the holy man, to Elisha the prophet. And he feeds it to those who follow him. It's not enough, and then it is enough. What they learn that day is that when they're obedient to God, and when they do what God's messenger tells them to do, it works despite having looked impossible. Obedience to God, God takes care of it. It's the same with the miracle in the gospel. That 200 denarii, depending how you make the calculation, there's different methods, different assumptions, is something like £16,000 to £22,000 wouldn't buy enough for a small piece each. And yet, when the apostles do what Jesus tells them to do, even though by their previous experience it couldn't possibly work, it does. They too learn that when you do what you can to the best of your ability with whatever you've got in obedience to God, God takes care of the shortfall. Now, how do we apply these lessons to our own daily life? Well, some people considering a vocation reflect on their own shortcomings, their own failings and flaws, and think, how can I live up to such a vocation? The only way anyone ever answers a vocation is by understanding that we rely on the grace of God, not on our own powers. And there's an example too in that second reading. When we have some character flaw, some defect, some situation to deal with that we're not sure we're up to, when we have a habit of sin we want to overcome, when we put our best effort into it, trusting in God, there's a result. That little community that St. Paul, or someone copying St. Paul afterwards, a disciple of St. Paul, writing in his name on his behalf, says to that little community in Ephesus, perhaps only 40 people, he urges them to be patient with each other, to be gentle, to live out the unity that they've been given in Jesus Christ. They're not told you won't need patience because you're all Christians. No, they're told work at it. Work at being gentle and patient with each other. Don't be the one who takes offence or who snipes or who carps at others and eats away at the unity of the church. Let's recognise the gift that God offers to those who obey him, that when we make our best effort with whatever we've got, again and again, God takes care of it.